So excited for you guys to hear this incredible interview with my friend, Kim Thompson-Pinder. And like me, she has a background in network marketing, but then shifted into coaching, but also writing books and how that really changed her life and her career, much like when I wrote my first book. Good Guys Always Win, and then followed up with the LinkedIn book for network marketing and so on and so on. And you're going to love her story about how she realized that she had something with the books that she was writing. In addition to that, if you guys look in the description of this episode, there is also a link where you guys can join my free Facebook community, Network Marketing Leads for Life, but also where you can download a free gift from me on how to optimize your LinkedIn profile. So definitely check those out, and I really hope you enjoy today's episode. Welcome to the Network Marketing Made Simple podcast. I am your host, Scott Aaron, and each and every week, I'm going to come to you with short, simple, and powerful tactics of how you can grow your network marketing business, brand, bank account, and impact on those around you. And just remember, network marketing is not easy, but it can be made easy with simple steps to create the success that you truly deserve. So Kim, welcome to today's episode, and I'm so grateful that you're here today for a number of reasons. Number one, you are also an author like myself, but also for the audience that doesn't know you, what I want you guys to understand is that there's synchronicities in networking online. And Kim and I met on an amazing platform called matchmaker.fm. And for anyone that's listening to this that has a podcast or wants to go on to podcasts, all you have to do, this is not a plug, there's no paid advertising with this, but truly, if you go to www.matchmaker.fm, you can sign up for a free account and you can basically pitch podcasts that fit within maybe a story that you want to share or a zone of genius that you have to get on certain shows like Kim and I doing right now. We did a pod swap. I was able to get on hers. And we see eye to eye on so many things. Number one, both being authors. Number two, having a very deep and diverse background in network marketing. But most importantly, we found our passions while we were on our journey in network marketing that allowed us to pivot. And, Kim has her own publishing company now. You guys know what I do, and I teach LinkedIn and speak and all this stuff. And it's really important to highlight those people that still love network marketing, are grateful for the opportunity that it gave us, but it also allowed us to pivot and to really turn our passions into profit. So first, Kim, welcome to today's episode. And secondly, if you could, for my audience that is not familiar with you or what you do, just a brief introduction on who you are, what you do, but most importantly, what was that light bulb moment for you where your own entrepreneurial spark was lit that's allowed it to never go out?
So I'm Kim Thompson-Pinder, the extraordinary word ninja, and I'm also the Chief Visionary Officer of RTI Publishing. And Scott, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. It was wonderful yesterday recording your podcast episode on my Author to Authority podcast. So that was a thrill. So if you really want the complete story, listen to both episodes. But my entrepreneurial journey began in network marketing, and I was in network marketing for 20 years. And to be honest, I failed the first 12 years in network marketing. I don't know why I stayed. I really don't. I didn't do well, but there was something in me that wanted to be that entrepreneur. And I was determined that no matter what it took, I was going to figure this thing out. And what made the difference was when I joined a company that had a mentorship program. Every other company I'd been in, I had basically begged whoever recruited me, teach me. I will learn. I will do. Just show me how to do it. And they'd say, well, you just talk to people. Okay, that's great. Yep. How do you talk to people? I mean, it was a silly question, but it really is not. If the core of your business is talking to people and you do not know how to talk to people, you don't have a business. So finally, the last company I was in, they had a mentorship program. And that was when I was really able to just incredibly shine and really start to build a business. But in the midst of all that, I became an author. And I wrote books on network marketing to help my team. And it was easier to give them a book to read and then answer their questions than to try and take all the time to teach all these concepts. And in my company, people found out I was writing the books, so I decided to publish it on Amazon because that way it could go out to everyone across the country. And they had these days where you could give it away for free. So I just told everybody the days that it was free, they could go on. Amazon delivered it. I wasn't answering 50 million emails. And so it just became a vehicle for me to teach and train people. But becoming an author is what changed my life. And even though I had been an author for several years, that point when I became an author changed me and prepared me to become a publisher. And one of the key points with becoming an author was all of a sudden I was no longer invisible. I had given away all these books, so I had sold them at 99 cents. Like I did everything possible to make sure that anybody who wanted the books could get the books. And I remember going to my first conference. It was about six months to a year after I had released about 2 or 3 of the books. And I went there, and all of a sudden that whole weekend, I was the center of attention because I had written the books and people were asking me about the books. And I actually came out of that weekend leading a coaching program where I coached about 10 people on how to build their network marketing business within my company. So I couldn't recruit them because they were already recruited. So they paid me to coach them for 6 months. So I came out of that conference with 10 coaching clients, and I couldn't recruit them because they were already in my company. So, but I made money coaching them and training them how to build a network marketing business. And what I didn't realize was how powerful becoming an author was. And people now saw me as that expert authority. I'd had that knowledge for years, but nobody knew it until I wrote the book. And so that started me on a journey of learning what it meant to become the authority in my niche. And even though this didn't happen for probably 2 or 3 years later, it was really what started me to become a publisher. It was preparing me to not only help people write their signature books, but teach them how to use that book to build authority and to build their business.
So no matter what the business model, entrepreneurship, it looks the same depending upon if you're a solopreneur like you and I, and we're building teams, or if you're a network marketer, you're building organizations. So I never take a negative spin on things, but I always like to bring to the surface kinks in the hose. And so everyone looks at network marketing, and from the outside looking in, it looks like the ideal business. You see all these people living this incredible life, popping bottles on boats and traveling all over the world and doing all these amazing things. But in all honesty, I built an organization of close to 5,000 people in about 4.5 years. And I was working my butt off. I mean, it was, so here's my question. Between you and I, we have close to 30 years of experience in network marketing, in and out of it, obviously, because we still work outside of it, help network marketers and entrepreneurs. What are some of the significant flaws that you see that were present 20 years ago that still have not been corrected today, that you feel are still hindering those network marketers that really want to do this and they really want to make it a business, and it's not allowing them to?
I think there's two things I see. And one is on the network marketing companies side, and one is on the network marketer side. So first, when we take a look at network marketing companies, they really need mentorship programs because they throw you in there. They expect you to be able to know how to sell and recruit. You know, they might hand you a book with a couple of scripts, but they really, what made the difference was I had a district manager in my last company. She was a paid employee of the company. So she didn't build her own teams. They paid her a salary. And her job was to teach and mentor anybody who wanted to learn how to build a business. And I sat with that woman for 2 years, basically hip to hip. Anytime she would spend with me, I would spend with her. Sometimes I just got in the car and I drove with her all day, helping her do her job. Why? Because I wanted to learn. She was a major recruiter. She knew how to recruit. She also knew how to sell. It wasn't as strong, but I had already conquered some sales skills. I needed to learn how to recruit. So for 2 years, I was with her as many hours in the week as she would give me. And I watched how she did it. Now, in the beginning, I mimicked her. I just did exactly what she did because I had to get the basics down. But once I was able to do that, I was able to really make it my own. And that's when my results really began to skyrocket because it was now internal. I wasn't just mimicking it. So I think mentorship is incredibly important. So on a company level, there's no mentorship. And even most leaders in network marketing are not mentoring their people. They're just throwing them on, see who sticks to the wall, and the rest, they don't care if they drop off. But most of us, like my daughter was 2 when I got into network marketing, and I was a stay-at-home mom. And I chose to stay at home. It wasn't because I was the woman. My husband could just earn a whole lot more money than I could. So that made the decision for us. We had decided that one of us would stay home with the children. My husband had the earning potential. At the time, I didn't. So I stayed home with the kids. But when my daughter was 2, I wanted something more. And also financially, things were tight. I mean, most families really need 2 incomes. And here I was staying at home. And I don't regret it. I do not regret for a moment staying home and raising my kids. It was one of the best decisions I ever made. But I wanted more too. And I also wanted to be able to financially contribute. So that's why I got into network marketing in the first place. And so, I never had any leaders who were willing to invest in me. I told them straight out when they recruited me, I did not know how to recruit, but I want you to teach me. If you will teach me, I will do every action you tell me to do, no matter how uncomfortable it makes me feel. Just teach me, train me, mentor me. I will help you build a big business, but I don't know how to do that yet. And so that was on the network marketing company side. On a personal side,
You're the dream enrollment.
I know.
No, I mean, seriously, and I always tell people I was the dream enrollment because I told my enrolling sponsor, I said, Joe, whatever I have to do, tell me what to do, and I'm going to do it. And he'll tell you that I took it to the nth level. Like whatever he told me to do, I multiplied it by 9 and I did it. Reach out to 3 people, I reached out to 27. Read 1 article, I read 3 articles. So, but before you get into the second point, I love how you started this because the blame can't be all put on the company. It takes 2 to tango.
That's right.
The companies have a responsibility, but the associates have an equal responsibility. So please continue. I love where you're going with this.
So on the personal side, what I came to realize was I was representing things the wrong way. I was representing the company. And what I learned was that I needed to stop representing the company and I needed to start representing me. I had to build a brand around me and who I was and what I could offer people, because it was the relationships I developed that built the recruiting side. It was that ability to connect person to person. The company I was with became the tool to reach the outcome that I was telling people that they could have. So I want to encourage you, if you have not built a brand around yourself, everybody's taught to build a brand, to promote the company, promote the company, promote the company. And in a sense, okay, yeah, you do promote the company. But if you want to be truly successful in network marketing, you have to promote yourself. And the company becomes the tool that allows, that you use to help these people that you connect with live the life that they want to live. And so that was something that I never realized. And a lot of other people were doing it, and I saw it, but I didn't understand what they were doing.
What a lot of people fail to recognize is this: the network marketing company that you partner with, they own your team.
Yeah.
They own your back office.
Yep.
They own your downline, and they can cut it off whenever they want.
Yep.
But to your point, the one thing that they can never touch and the one thing that they will never own is your personal brand.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you said, the company, the products, the opportunity is your vehicle.
Yeah.
But what drives that vehicle is the branding side of how you're putting yourself out there. Do you know why a lot of network marketing companies don't need Facebook and Instagram ad budgets? Because all the distributors are doing the free advertising for them, showing
Yes.
pictures of their shakes and their CBD products and their clothes and their makeup and their hair and their skin. So the companies, again, they're providing the tools, but they're sitting back. They're like, well, we're putting money in the pockets of the distributors for selling stuff. And if you people like, it's so funny because I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. So I'm always looking at ROI. I'm always looking to the profit margin. I'm always looking to the debt to income ratio. So when and I'm going to give you an example, the company that I was partnered with, you sell someone a $650 package,
Yes.
you get $100. So if you do percentage wise, that's a 15% return. So the company gets 85% and you get 15%. So you have to sell so much just to actually make it worth it. But
Yeah.
again, the residual income side, which I want to go back to one of the original things that you said, a lot of the leaders, they actually, number one, they don't know how they did it. So if you ask someone that's making well, I just talked to people and I just plugged them in, and how they did it was, number one, they got in at the right time. And again, I'm going to preface this by saying that, whenever someone says quote unquote ground floor opportunity, listen, that's a red flag to run the opposite direction.
Yes.
But on the inside, we do know that there's ground floor opportunities because most of the people at the top of the food chain in network marketing got into that company at a shifting point in that company. So
Yes.
Let me give you an example. So the older companies, the Herbalifes, the Mary Kay's, the company, Avon, Amway, those companies, especially Amway. Amway was one of the first ones. They were around like the 1910s, 1920s. So they went
Actually,
through the
Avon's the oldest.
Oh, Avon. When was Avon? The 1800s?
1800s. Now,
So
they didn't really move to true network marketing and recruiting until just before I joined. So it was predominantly a direct sales company. for many, many years, but it was started in the 1800s.
But if you look at the progression of network marketing, it was, the home parties, literally getting a phone book and calling people. And then you would invite people to home parties and you would put in a VHS, and then it went to DVD. And then the advent of the internet, which completely just took network marketing to a whole other level.
Yes.
So for a company that evolved, so to speak, during this whole digital marketing age, say a company opened, like the company that I partnered with, they opened in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
And the internet became a really prevalent way to build your business in 2009, 2010.
Yeah.
So if you look at the people that joined that company between 2002 and 2010, those be the first generational people, right? They're still killing it.
Yep.
Then the second wave was the people that joined with the advent of the digital age. So the people that joined in 2008, 2009, 2010, because Facebook just blew it out of the water for people.
Yep.
So there is a perfect time for everything. But the second little additive to that, it's the quality of the people that you bring in.
Mm-hmm. True.
Because you can't build residual income. You can't build an organization by yourself. So, like I said, I had an organization of close to 5,000 people. Kim, I did not enroll 5,000 people. I enrolled a few hundred over the 4.5 years that led to the 5,000.
Yes.
So for the people that are so product focused, right? Because that's what also the companies teach. It's product, get the products and people, and they're going to want to do the business. What's your take on the consumer to business builder ratio, and what, if the person wants to make money in network marketing, what should they be focusing on?
First, I just want to go back to something you said about, these leaders who can't teach. And the reason they can't teach is because they're part of that 3% of people who have natural people skills. They didn't have to learn how to talk to people. They just do it naturally. And those were the leaders I ended up under, who couldn't teach me because they didn't even know how they did it themselves. So, that is a factor. Ultimately, in network marketing, the way you make money in network marketing is by product being sold. It's the truth. Now, the good thing about network marketing is you don't have to do all the selling. Like you said, you recruited a few hundred people, you picked good people who knew how to recruit other people, and as product was sold, then you've got that residual. So there's always two aspects to network marketing. You have to be able to sell yourself, because if you don't know how to sell, how do you teach others how to sell? And then the other side is, how do you recruit? So I think both are equally as valid because they're interdependent upon each other. You can have a big team, but if no one's selling anything, you don't earn any money. You can have a small, powerful team that's killing it in sales and you're making a fortune. So, I think both are equal. I can't say one's more important than the other.
Well, because one ultimately leads to the other, but you do need to have a healthy balance.
Yes.
Between consumers and builders. And for those people that are listening to this, what Kim and I are trying to say, that it's not dirty to lead with the business opportunity that still starts with them trying the product first. It's okay to talk to someone about this as a strict business opportunity. Like it's okay. And
actually, I talked to thousands and thousands of people. I was one of the rare people who actually built my business by going out into public and doing events. I would love to
tell them, for the people that didn't hear our episode, Tell people what you were known as when you would go out in public.
So I had built my business so well locally, and I had spent so much time out in the public building my business that I became known as the Avon Lady. And people would walk up to me who had seen me at some local event. And I mean, I did events year round. Well, maybe not the dead of winter because it wasn't really a lot, but from spring right through to Christmas, I did events. I did 30 to 50 events a year where I had a whole system. I had everything in containers, and I could get set up in like about 20 minutes because I just did it so much. But people got to know me, and they couldn't remember my name, but they knew I sold Avon. So they'd come up to me and they're like, are you the Avon Lady? Yep. And I'd get business. But something you were talking about there, I always led with the business opportunity. Because here's the thing. People think, oh, if I lead with a business opportunity, I'm going to turn people off. Well, if you go for the customer first, you're going to get customers. If you go for the recruit first, you will get recruits, and people who don't want to become recruits still have no problem becoming a customer. But if you lead with the customer first and then try to talk to them about the recruiting, it never worked well for me. So I always led with the opportunity first. And then if they weren't interested in the opportunity, I always had product and product displays. I talked to them a little bit about the product, and I'm like, hey, have you seen an Avon book lately? And hand them an Avon book, get their name and number, do a draw, so even when I wasn't recruiting, I built a massive customer base. I was in the top selling group of my company because as I was building recruits, I was also building a ton of customers.
So it's just so important for people to do both. And, people can do these shows all the time, but I think that the big thing to take away from that for the people that are listening to this is that you have to take action. You got to
Right.
You got to do something. Doing nothing changes nothing, but when you do something, it's going to change something. And I think that's the
right.
big key. So let's talk about the pivot that you made to leaning into the author to authority, where writing these books and starting your own publishing company. So, because there's a lot of network marketers that, believe what you and I believe in, which is multiple streams of income. The average millionaire has 4 to 6 streams of income. So when you started to really lean into the publishing company and the writing of the books, how did that take your life and your business to where it was to where it is right now?
So I actually kind of fell into it. 2015 was a rough year financially. Had something amazing happen. My son was getting married. But of course, as any good parent, you want to financially help your children with their wedding. And so we had that. And then that was the year we were driving 2 cars by faith. So, and the reason for that was we had made a commitment to never go into debt for vehicles again. So this was something that we were learning to change our financial habits. So we had 2 vehicles that were basically falling apart, and we were saving up money to replace them. So we would drive by faith every day. And I lived a half an hour away from my town. So I'd get in my car. I would pray that I make it into town. I'd drive into town, do what I need to do, get back in the car, pray I make it back home again. And so we were saving to, buy 2 new used vehicles. And with all of that, I was on a freelance site one day. And sometimes I get these little, I call them God whispers. And I just felt inside of me, you should check out writing jobs. I'm thinking, yeah, I could check out writing jobs. So I started checking out writing jobs. Like, oh, are you serious? They pay that for that? I can do that. That's easy, right? And I started applying for jobs. And because I was already an established author, I had social proof on Amazon that my books were good, that they had good reviews, all this stuff. I started getting clients right away. And the other key thing is when I started writing books, I did not have money to buy expensive courses. I did not have money to pay people to do things. I had to learn how to do it all myself. And I could tell you courses were $2,000 to $3,000. I did not have that. So I bought little $7 courses that sometimes answered one question. I Googled an awful lot, but I learned how to do books, write, edit, format, create covers, upload to Amazon. I learned it all. So when I started taking on these freelance writing clients, they wanted an editor. So I started editing. They wanted formatting. I started formatting. Well, very quickly it got to the point there was no way I could do all this work myself. So within a year, that's how RTI Publishing came about. Was I just needed help doing the work, and I started bringing on people. Now, the author to authority concept started around 2016, late 2016, 2017. And it went back to that time when I went to that conference and I was recognized as that authority. And I really started to see the power of authorship and how you could use it to build a business. And since then, that message has expanded. So this is something else that you need to learn as an entrepreneur. Who you are and how your business grows changes over time. And, you know, this core messaging, I'm about 5 years into the process, has really cemented in about the last year or so. Now, that doesn't mean I wasn't building a business. I mean, I've been selling book projects for years, but in the last year and a half, everything kind of came into place. And so now I understand that to become that authority, you really have to build in 6 key areas. So first is your in-person skills, and that directly related to network marketing. You can build a business. Like if you're selling services, if you're a coach, you know, any of those types of things, you're selling trainings, any of those kinds of things, you need to be able to learn how to sell. And that's your in-person skills. How do you introduce yourself in a intriguing way? How do you start the conversation? How do you shift it to a sales conversation? All of those things are what I call your in-person skills. And then there's your marketing skills, right? And it's not what you think. Marketing comes down to 3 things. Who do you serve? How do you serve them? And who you are in relation. So I'm not going to go into all of that because I could talk on that for hours. So you've got marketing, you've got your in-person skills, you've got the network that you build, you've got communication, social media, and media. And as you build in all of those areas, and yes, it takes work, and yes, it takes time, and it doesn't happen overnight, but you hit a point where you've become so well known that business comes to you. And it's an incredible place to be. And when you become that well known, especially in network marketing, everybody wants to work with you.
Something that you and I talked about in our interview on your show, and this is, we both agreed that there's 3 things that every network marketer and entrepreneur needs.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, a personal website.
Yep.
Outside of your company website, you need a hub.
Yes.
Of where you can send people to.
Yes.
Number 2, a podcast. A podcast is a great way to give out free information to build the know, like, and trust factor with your audience.
It also positions you as that expert.
Yes. Number 3, a book.
Yeah.
You want to be the authoritative figure? Write a book. And you may be listening to this as we're talking about this, and you're like, no way could I do a podcast. I don't have anything to write about for a book. That's a story. Every single person has a book that they're writing inside of them.
Yeah.
You just need someone like Kim to bring that book out. So for that person that has always wanted to write a book, they've whether it's related to network marketing or not,
Mm-hmm.
how does Kim help those types of people, you know, go from where they are now to actually being a published author?
So the process starts with, again, determining those 3 questions. Who do you serve? How do you serve them? And who are you in relationship to that? You see, locally, I'm not known as the Avon Lady anymore, but I'm known as Kim Pinder, even though my legal name's Thompson-Pinder. Everybody just knows me as Kim Pinder, I'm Ross's wife. I'm Daniel and Deborah's mother. I'm Benjamin's Nana, and I got to tell you, he's just about the cutest thing on the face of the earth. I'm part of the leadership of my church. I'm a Toastmaster. I'm a musician. I'm an avid reader. I'm a knitter. I'm a crocheter. Okay. Those are all things that I am. But that's not my business persona. My business persona is I'm the extraordinary word ninja. And the reason for that is that you need to direct how people see you business-wise. And so that's where that marketing comes down to. And those are the things that we determine first. Because to be honest, if you write your book to everybody, you're writing your book to nobody. You have to figure out who it is that you want to read this book. So I'm gonna share a little secret that I normally only share with my clients or my students that I teach to. So I'm gonna share something, and it may seem simple, but it really is life-changing in terms of your book. So there's a group of about 10 to 15% of people at the top who are absolutely going to love your book. They're going to think it's the best thing on the face of the earth. They become your brand ambassadors, and they tell everybody to read that book. And, that you can do no wrong in their eyes. At the bottom, on the other hand, are 10 to 15% of people. And let's say you could write a perfect book. Just so I'm telling you, there is no such thing as a perfect book. But let's just imagine, for the sake of this discussion, that you could write a perfect book. There would still be 10 to 15% at the bottom that hate you, hate your message, hate your book, and are actively promoting against you. And there is nothing that you can do to change that. So don't bother. You only write your book to that 10 to 15% of people who are going to love it. Now, in that, the rest of that range, that 70% range, you're going to have a really good, great group of people at the top that become your clients, your customers, your recruits, but they're not your brand ambassadors. Then you've got a group in the middle that are neutral, and you've got a group at the bottom that are like, yeah, but they're not actively promoting against you. They just really aren't into you or your stuff. So in that upper group, if you write the book to the 10 to 15%, that rest of that 30% in there will still love the book. So when I work with my clients, that's what we determine. Who's that top 10 to 15% that are absolutely going to love your book? And that's a big beginning part of the process. Obviously, there's more in terms of how we write the book and edit and all that. But if you can get that key thing down, you've already done some of the biggest work you need in terms of your book.
Brilliant. It's you focus, and again, here's the thing, and I'll be honest with you guys. When you become a published author, and I have 3 books and I'm working on a 4th, and you put it out on a platform, a subjective platform like Amazon, mm-hmm. You're going to have people that love it, and you're going to have people that hate it. Mm-hmm. So there is no perfect book, just like you said. Not everyone is going to love what you put out there. So, yeah. I think I have around 80 reviews. I think 77 of them are 5-star, and I have a 4-star, and then there's a 1-star. So it's
actually good that you have that 1-star.
And the funny thing is about that 1-star, if you read the 1-star review, it was nothing but compliments. So the book is called it's so funny. No, hear me out. So the book is called The LinkedIn Book for Network Marketing. So he goes, just a forewarning, if you're going to buy this book, it's about network marketing, MLM, and direct sales, of how to get more sales and build a team. And
Hello.
I'm saying to myself,
I got reviews like that. I'm like, the book specifically says it's about network marketing.
It's on the cover.
Yeah.
So I sent a friendly message to Amazon. I said, I'm really confused. This person gave me a 1-star rating on a book that he clarified as a good read, well written, but it's for network marketing only, and gave it a 1 star. And they found they didn't flag it. They found it fine because people. But what I've learned is that in where people are allowed to give their own opinions of what you do, the ratings don't matter. The amount of stars that your book gets doesn't matter. It's the fact that you've put it out there, because
Yes.
Kim, like
well,
what you,
let's back up there for a sec. Okay. Those reviews do matter. In
well,
terms of your book on Amazon, they do.
It adds to the credibility.
If you have a bad review because the book the person read it really shouldn't have read it, and their review is obvious that they should have never written the book, that's different. But when you have bad reviews because they're criticizing your writing, your grammar, your editing, and your formatting, you really need to pay attention to those reviews, because it means the quality of your book is not good. And that you have to pay attention to. That is a serious thing. That will keep people from reading your book.
Well, I agree. So again, what I meant by that was, I think a lot of people get discouraged if someone writes a bad review or gives them a 1 star, and you're like, what the hell? And I mean, again, it's just like anything else. People have their opinions. They're going to share it. But in my opinion, the good always outweighs the bad. So I could focus on that 1 star review, or I could focus on the 77 5-star reviews. It's my choice.
Well, I'll tell you a quick story. I did a couple of network marketing planners just because I really wanted to learn how to do them. So it was something I did for fun. I posted them. I get the occasional sales on it. I got a review, a 1-star review. This book just has the same pages over and over again, and you have to date it yourself. I'm like, isn't that what a planner is? And an evergreen planner never has dates.
You plug it in yourself.
Yeah, because then you could buy it at any time in the year, and it's good for the whole year, right? And I looked at it and I'm like, oh, give me.
It's just it's Kim, it's people being people, and that's so we could talk for hours, because they're so, and we're probably going to have to do a second episode. But so for the listeners that are really interested in what Kim does and how she helps people, what's the best way for them to connect with you, whether it's through website or social media?
You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm actually everywhere, but the best way to find me is on LinkedIn, Word Ninja Kim. But you can also check out my website, authortoauthority.com. And right there on the top of the homepage, you can download a free excerpt of my newest book coming out called Author to Authority. Again, it's all about the branding. And that book teaches the excerpt itself. It's not the full book. The excerpt is really going to show you the power of becoming an authority and starts you off on the 6 key areas that you need to start building in. So if you go to authortoauthority.com, right there on the homepage at the top, there's the free download button. Click on that, put in your name and email. Plus, you also get a training series that goes with it. So you'll be getting weekly emails that tell you how to incorporate those 6 key areas into your business. And it's for all levels. So there are some people who are new to this, and there's some people who are established entrepreneurs and want to take their business to the next level. So, these emails and the book will cover both, because it is part of the process of becoming an authority. Where do you start? You kind of hit mid-level, and then, you kind of hit that expert phase, and then you jump to authority. So the book covers all 3.
Love that. So all of that information for the listeners will be found in the show notes and the description, so you guys can connect with Kim. So Kim, number one, thank you so much for being here. This is definitely going to continue many more discussions. I think we're just in such alignment with the way that we see a lot of different things. And I just appreciate you and the value that you brought to this episode. And finally, number 2, my last question. what does success truly mean to you?
Success means to me that when you have not only enough to meet yours and your family's need, but when you have enough to make differences in other people's lives too.
That's when the impact is truly felt. It goes far beyond just those people that are closest to you. It's felt across the ocean. It's felt in different countries. It's felt all across social media. So I could not agree more. So with that, Kim, thank you again for being here today. Truly grateful for you, just for everything that you brought to this episode and shining a light on so many things that people I know are going to take away from this and help that to improve their business. So thank you again.
You're so welcome, Scott. It's been an honor. And I think I need to have you back on too, because we only started to touch in on your expertise as well.
Well, there's always room for a part 2, and I would be happy to do that. So for the listeners, thank you guys again for all the love and support that you give this podcast. And as always recommended, head over to iTunes, leave a rating and review about this episode, what your biggest aha moments were, your takeaways, what you're going to put into action. So please enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you again so much for checking out this week's episode. And if you can, head over to iTunes, search for Network Marketing Made Simple, leave me a 5-star rating, basic review. I would be grateful for all of the support you guys can give me. And again, if you'd be interested in learning more how to utilize LinkedIn to grow your business, your brand, and your bank account, head over to my website, www.scottaaron.net. Fill out the form for your free 15-minute discovery call so I can learn more about you, your business, and how we can work together. And again, thank you guys so much. Grateful for you all, and I'll see you next time.